Okay, good afternoon. So, up to the last lecture, we have covered the various types of the admixtures. So, we have covered the plasticizer admixture, we have covered the super plasticizer, then retarder, then accelerator, then and air entering agent. So, these 4-5 admixtures we have covered till in the last 2-3 lectures. So the next admixture which we are going to add into the concrete, that is the pozzolanic materials. So what types of pozzolanic materials we are adding into the concrete for the various various conditions or various parameters which will improve or various properties of concrete which will improve by after adding these pozzolanic materials. So if you see so the need for the particular pozzolanic admixture or pozzolanic material, which we can say, the use of pozzolanic material is as old as that of the concrete construction. So the generally from various days or various years we are using this particular pozzolanic material in the concrete as an admixture. So generally it was organized a long time ago, and that suitable pozzolans used in an appropriate amount that then the modify certain properties of fresh and hardened concrete or hardened mortars and concretes that are improved by the or modified if we use that pozzolanic materials. So generally that pozzolanic materials which we are adding into the concrete to modify the properties of the fresh concretes. So the properties of fresh concrete are the workability of concrete, durability of concrete, then strength of concrete. So these are the main properties of the concrete which we are the properties which we are maintaining by using the pozzolanic material. So generally the so the construction of the aqueduct or arch dam or bridges, etc., we are using that particular pozzolanic materials, because such materials or such aqueducts, arch or bridges are underwater constructions, or during in the water is available during this construction of this particular structures. So these pozzolanic materials why needed? Because the use of this pozzolanic material, that pozzolanic material uses the leachable calcium hydroxide. So leachable calcium hydroxide that we can use as a pozzolanic material. So if we use the pozzolanic material as an admixture, we can reduce the permeability of the concrete. So permeability of concrete, it means whatever porous part of the concretes are there, that porous part will be the reduces. So permeability of concrete is reduces. Also, we can increase the strength of concrete if we use the pozzolanic material in the while mixing the concrete. And also we can reduce in the alkali aggregate reactions. So alkali aggregate reactions. So water is a main mixing material for the cement, sand, and aggregate. So if we add the water into the concrete, then the mixture will be the form in the homogeneity, and the alkali aggregate reactions is again takes place. That alkali aggregate reaction is reduced by if we add the pozzolanic material. So you have to keep in mind, when pozzolanic material as we are using as an admixture into the concrete, then we can reduce the permeability of concrete, we can increase the strength of concrete, and we can reduce the alkali aggregate reaction also. Then the materials used in the pozzolanic material admixtures are natural pozzolana. If you see here, so natural pozzolana contains clay or shale. Natural pozzolana contains clay and shale, and again opaline shale is also there. Then diatomaceous earth is there, and volcanic tuff is there. So the natural pozzolana is indicate clay, then avalanche shale, then diatomaceous earth, and then volcanic tuff. So these four types of the pozzolana are present into the pozzolanic admixture, and so that we can improve the reduce the permeability of concrete and increase the strength of concrete by adding the that pozzolanic material. Then this is the natural pozzolana we have seen. So artificial pozzolanas are fly ash and surki. So fly ash is a material which we are adding into the concrete and replacing for the cement for the somewhat percentage, so that we can minimize the cost of construction. So fly ash is a waste which we use into the concrete to reduce the percentage of cement and to increase the quality of the concrete also. And surki is one of the again admixture which we are using in the powder form, that also increase the strength of the concrete, and we can replace for the cement also. So these powders forms, pozzolanic materials are in the powder forms that we can replace to the cement or other ingredients of the concretes, and so that we can increase the strength and maintain the environmental conditions. So these materials we can use in the as a pozzolanic admixture. So what mechanism is there for the pozzolanic admixture? So mechanism for the pozzolanic admixture is the siliceous materials react with the calcium hydroxides. So siliceous materials are nothing but the clay, shales. These are the siliceous materials, and these siliceous materials react with the calcium hydroxide and form a cementitious material. So we are replacing the fly ash for the cement. It means we are preparing a cementitious material. So that material we can replace for the cement, and we can increase the strength of the concrete also. So the siliceous material react with the calcium hydroxide and form the cementitious material. So that if you see here, pozzolana plus calcium hydroxide plus water, that is CSH gel. So we can so in this way the mechanism will be formed. So again, the pozzolanic material, if we use into the concrete, so it has been demonstrated that the best pozzolans in the optimum properties mixed with the Portland cement improves many qualities of concrete. So if you add the pozzolanic material or that admixture with the concrete in the concrete with the Portland cement, then the many properties of concrete will be improved, and that properties are, if you see here, lower and heat of hydration and thermal shrinkage also increases, then increase the water tightness also, reduce the alkali aggregate reaction, improve resistance to attack by sulfonate soils and seawater also, then improve extensibility, then lower sustainability to dissolution and leaching, improves the workability and lower cost. So these all lower cost is also there. If we add the fly ash into the concrete, the cost will be reduces or increases. Fly ash is the waste material. If we add into the concrete and if we replace to the cement, we will increase the cost will be minimized of that particular project. So all these parameters of the concrete will be improved, and cost of the construction also reduces if we use this pozzolanic material as a admixture into the concrete. So what results will be come out after the addition of these pozzolanic materials? So impermeable concrete. So permeability of concrete will be reduces, and the concrete which we can make, that concrete is impermeable. Then economical concrete. What? Economical concrete. So concrete will be economical when we use the fly ash for the replacing the cement also. Then increase the surface resistance. So surface resistance. So what surface resistance? So generally, if the structure is contact with the water, then sulfate chloride attack will be there on the concrete and steel. So steel will be corroded earlier if the concrete and steel will with contact with the water. So the sulfate resistance. So it will react for the sulfate. Sulfate will attack on the steel bar. Steel rod वरती सल्फेटचा अटॅक होतो आणि करोजन लवकर होतो. सो इट विल बी रेजिस्ट. That pozzolanic material will resist to the corrosion. This will be corrosion resistant. Then lower susceptibility to dissolution and decrease the bleeding. So bleeding of concrete is also decreased by adding this pozzolanic material. So these are the all major results we will get from the pozzolanic material if we add it to the concrete. So next type of admixture is a dam proofing admixture, grouting agent and bonding agent. So the dam proofing or grouting agent and a bonding agent. So sometimes we have to bond the old connection and new connection, or we have to insert the bar into the concrete for extension of some work. So grouting we have to do where leakages are there. At that time, grouting work we have to do. So dam proofing, sometimes water seepages is there. So we have to improve that floor also by that is the dam proofing. So these are the some chemicals we are using while the dam proofing, grouting as and bonding agent. So the why need of the grouting or dam proofing? To make concrete impermeable. So concrete मधून पाणी किंवा whites जे आहेत concrete मध्ये ते impermeable करायचे. It means what? Whites we have to minimize. Why? Because the water will be seepages and it will impact on affect the on the steel. So steel will be corroded. If steel is going with the contact with the water, then steel will be corroded. So if the impermeable concrete we have to make, then that porosity or voids we have to reduce. Then increase durability of concrete. If we have to increase the durability of concrete, then we have to add the various chemicals that increase the durability of concrete. Carry out the repair works. So sometimes that repair works also we have to carry it out. For that purpose, dam proofing is required, or grouting agents we have to add into the repairs also to minimize the leakages, etc. Then cast concrete in water retaining structure also. So the water retaining structures are there. Bandara are there. The KTVR bandara is there. Normal bandara is there. Then dam is there. Then river structures are there. So all these river structure, water retaining structures are there. At that time, we have to cast the concrete. That for that purpose, so we have to bonding agents are required. So the materials we are using in the dam proofing bonding agents are the water repellent material in powder or liquid form, then silicate of soda, aluminium, zinc sulfate, calcium chloride, vegetable oils, waxes, coal tar residues. These all the materials we are using. Again, this butyl stearates, natural rubber, PVC polymer. So all these materials we can use as dam proofing or bonding agent or the grouting agent, as a grouting agent. So these are the materials which we can use. These some methods we are using for the grouting purpose. की जिथं आपल्याला कॉन्क्रीट हे पूर्णपणे बॉन्डिंग होऊन बसलं पाहिजे अशा ठिकाणी आपल्याला हे ग्राउटिंग एजंट्स आपण वापरतो. So these are the bonding agents. So this is grouting agents. These are the bonding agents. If you see here, the weak part of the concrete, if you can see, and in that weak part of the concrete, they have mixed with cement and mortar paste is prepared, and that grouting agent, bonding agent is inserted or placed into that cement paste. And if we use for the patchwork, if we use for the patchwork, then the repair is in proper way. So gas forming agents are there. Sometimes voids are there. That voids we have to remove. That voids gas forming agents are there. So conclusion of this admixture is for what purpose we are adding the admixtures into the concrete. So that conclusion for this, all the admixtures we have seen about 6 to 7 types of admixtures which we are using into the concrete. So conclusion of adding up admixture is as water is the agent for detection of the concrete, admixture increases the strength and durability of concrete with increase in the water content. So durability, strength, and workability, these are the major properties of the fresh concrete. So to deterioration of the concrete, to avoid the deterioration of concrete and maintain the workability, strength, and durability, so that purpose we can add this particular admixtures. Then production of the high strength concrete is possible with admixtures. If we want high strength for the concrete, so that we can use the admixtures into the concrete, and we will get the high strength for the heavy projects. So where which we are concretes we are using in the what we can say, in the mass concrete we are doing in the some of the projects. So there the strength, high strength is required, so the admixtures we can use. And then third conclusion is specialized concrete for specific purpose may be produced by adding admixtures. So specialized concrete for specific purpose. So sometimes specialized concrete is there and their specific purposes are there. At their specific purposes, we have to add the admixtures to get the strength. So add admixtures of smart working into the concrete of yourself to increase strength, durability, workability, and resistance. So if you read this statement, then you will know why we are using admixtures into the concretes. So if we add the admixtures, so smart working methodology is there, because the strength of the structure is one of the major fresh properties of the properties of the concrete is there. So the strength, durability, and workability, these are the various properties are, and that properties, that strength, workability, and durability is increases if we add the water into the concrete. So here this is the part of the admixtures. So we have covered, we have seen the various types of admixtures which we are using into the concrete for the various purposes: to reduce the water cement ratio, to increase the strength of concrete, to increase the durability of concrete, to delay the setting time of the concrete. So for the various purposes, we can add this admixtures into the concrete. So this is the part related to admixtures into the concrete. So here the end of this admixture part. Okay.